Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual. You guys know the deal on this channel, man. We must continue to set the record straight, stop the lies, stop the narratives, stop them from rewriting history, bending reality, man. And once again, this is an impromptu video. I was not going to do this video, but I was on social media and I saw a clip from LeBron James's latest episode from his podcast with JJ Redick, the Mind the Game podcast. And in the latest episode, he talks about his time in Miami, the adjustments that guys like Chris Bosh had to make, and some of the things that Erik Spoelstra had to do to unlock the Miami Heat after that first year, disaster of the first year, which was the NBA Finals for LeBron James. We're going to talk about in this video, guys, because this man, LeBron James, continues to expose himself during this podcast. He just exposes all the narratives and the lies surrounding his career. This is what he's doing without even realizing it. And it's what we're talking about, guys. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states that's been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all support, man. Much respect to everybody out there, guys. It means a lot. Like I said, the true basketball fans are standing up, and we must continue to do this, guys. We must continue to set the record straight and stop these lies and narratives, man. Hold these guys to a standard, hold them accountable. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So yes, guys, like I said, I was not going to do this video today. I had no plans on doing a video like this, but once again, I'm on social media and I see, like I said, a clip from LeBron James's, the latest episode from his podcast with JJ Redick. And in this episode, they were talking about the time in Miami and how guys like Chris Bosh had to make adjustments, and someone like an Erik Spoelstra, some of the things that he was doing behind the scenes after that first year in Miami did not end so well in the 2011 NBA Finals. And once again, guys, what I'm always telling you guys, this podcast was a bad idea for LeBron James because all this is doing is exposing LeBron James, right? You know, the first episode, we all know he tries to knock Michael Jordan by making it seem like guys like Steph Curry and Allen Iverson are more iconic than Michael Jordan over the last 20 or 30 years or since he's been watching basketball, right? And he looked like an idiot that very first episode, right? We clowned him, right? A lot of people made videos saying, what is this guy talking about, man, trying to put Allen Iverson and Steph Curry in a class, in a league where they're not compared to a Michael Jordan as far as the icon. It's not even close. It's laughable. Once again, LeBron James embarrasses himself on this podcast. He's talked about he was born with a sports IQ, where I've done videos. I did a video about that. He said he was born with a sports IQ. I keep telling you guys, LeBron James really believes that he's smarter than everyone else on the basketball court at all times, guys. This is why he refuses to play in an actual system. This is why coaches are always getting fired trying to coach LeBron James, because he don't listen. He does what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, how he wants to do it, because he really believes he's smarter than everybody else on the basketball court, even though this man is an idiot. A fool. He's made so many blunders out there. He still really believes he's the smartest guy on the basketball court at all times, guys, right? So he's exposed himself in many ways during this podcast, and it's only been out for a couple of weeks, whatever the case may be. But in the latest episode, the clip that I saw, he's talking about Chris Bosh and how Chris Bosh had to make adjustments, right? So they could figure it out, so they could unlock the Miami Heat. He talks about Erik Spoelstra going to Oregon and meeting with Chip Kelly, right? When he was the head coach over there for the Oregon Ducks, I believe, and talking to Chip Kelly. And LeBron James actually said that Erik Spoelstra had to learn the spread offense. He went to learn the spread offense to help them unlock the Miami Heat's potential, their greatness. Once again, LeBron James not in touch with reality. This man is delusional. The problem with the Miami Heat was not Erik Spoelstra or their spread offense or lack of a spread offense. It wasn't Chris Bosh's inability to, ingratiate himself or to adjust or adapt his game that first year. The problem was LeBron James. The problem was LeBron James the first year, guys. It's always LeBron James, the inconsistent play of LeBron James. We think about the 2011 NBA Finals. The Miami Heat were coasting all year long in the playoffs. What happens, though? They get down to the NBA Finals. They have a 2-1 lead, and then LeBron James decides to make fun of Dirk Nowitzki being sick. You remember these things? This has nothing to do with anybody else but LeBron James. It was LeBron James who was mocking Dirk Nowitzki with Dwayne Wade walking down the tunnel. That has nothing to do with Erik Spoelstra. That has nothing to do with Chris Bosh or Mario Chalmers or Udonis Haslem. None of these other guys. That's LeBron James. That's on him to act like a fool that way, to once again not carry himself with any class or honor. No honor in that display from a LeBron James. right? So LeBron James talks about these guys having to make these adjustments, Eric Spoelstra having to learn the spread offense from Chip Kelly. I mean, it's the nonsense that you have to listen to LeBron James speak. It's idiotic when you listen to this man speak, man. And he says, and tries to say, he says that he played like crap in the NBA Finals. He didn't say crap, he used a language, a harsh language or whatever, but he, essentially that's what he's saying. I played like crap. He played like crap in the NBA Finals, right, that first season. But that's not the case, guys. See, once again, LeBron James and his fans want you to believe that LeBron James just had a bad series, right? So what do they often say? Oh, LeBron James isn't allowed to have a bad series. He has one bad series in 21 years. This is what they want you to believe. He had one bad series in a 21-year career. They try to chalk it up to he just had a bad series. LeBron James himself says, I played like crap in the finals. But that was not the case. It wasn't just LeBron James had a bad series. LeBron James disappeared. He disappeared, guys. It was not LeBron James just not making shots, just playing bad, right? Because there's been many players in NBA's history that have had a bad series. Maybe they weren't shooting the ball well. But what I've told you guys, I've told you many, many times, the great players find other ways to impact winning, to impact the game. It doesn't have to just be in one aspect of the game, their rebounding or their scoring or their defense, whatever the case may be, whatever they may be known for. They find other ways to impact the game if that one area is not working for them, right? And I've told you guys many times, if Michael Jordan wasn't making the jump shot, he could find other ways to impact. It did not have to be him just scoring 30, 40 points a game. He could lock you down with defense. He could impact the game with his defense. He could impact the game on the glass, right? The effort, the hustle of Michael Jordan, right? The leadership of Michael Jordan. He can affect the game with his leadership. All of these different aspects, right? The great players will find a way. LeBron James did not try to find a way. LeBron James just disappeared. Not only was he not scoring the ball effectively, right, averaging 17 points a game when his regular season average was, I believe, 26 points a game in the regular season. So obviously he fell off scoring-wise. But it wasn't just that, guys. LeBron James not scoring, right, disappearing on the offensive end was just half the story. He didn't find any other ways to impact the game. So he could not shut down a Dirk Nowitzki on the defensive end, could he? No. Even though they'll have you believe that he could guard 1 through 5, LeBron James will tell you that he was in his peak defensively in Miami. But meanwhile, in the NBA Finals, he couldn't stop Dirk Nowitzki. He did not attempt to stop Dirk Nowitzki, right? Did LeBron James dominate the boards? No, he did not. Did LeBron James dominate with leadership, right, and galvanize the troops around him? No, he didn't. What did he do? Instead, he's making fun of Dirk Nowitzki heading into Game 4. He's making a joke about this man possibly being sick. Once again, underestimating his opponent, being a front runner up 2-1. It was all jokes for LeBron James, not showing any true leadership. Once again, LeBron James folding up in the NBA Finals. It wasn't just him having a bad series or a bad game. Like he says, oh, I had a bad finals. No, dude, you disappeared. The biggest choke job in the history of the game. You choked it away. You did not just shoot bad. You didn't play any defense. You didn't impact the game in any other aspect, right? You were shrunk before the moment. You had other guys trash talking you, so you couldn't even stand on your own 2 feet like a man. You were getting trash talked by guys like Deshaun Stevenson and J.J. Barea. All these guys hounding you, making you look like a fool. Once again, Dwayne Wade showed up, Chris Bosh showed up, all these other guys showed up, but LeBron James folded up, man. It wasn't just LeBron James playing bad, so I don't want to hear that as an excuse. Oh, I played bad in that series. No, dude, you did not just play bad. You completely disappeared. You completely shrunk up. You did nothing on the court to help your team when it mattered most. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Where other great players have made impacts in other areas when they weren't maybe scoring in one aspect or another aspect, right? It wasn't just LeBron James playing bad, right? So let's just get that out of the way right there. But then when he talks about Chris Bosh, this is where he exposed himself. He's talking about Chris Bosh and the things that Chris Bosh had to do, the adjustment that Chris Bosh had to make, the mindset of Chris Bosh, talking about Chris Bosh's IQ and how he realized that he could have stayed in Toronto and averaged 25 and 12, but he came to Miami to win a championship. That's right. But for some reason, LeBron James still to this day, and all of his fake fans still don't understand that LeBron James is the reason why they only went 2-4, 2-4 in those years there. Because LeBron James forced everyone around him to fit around LeBron James, right? You hear him say, everyone else had to make adjustments, and this is where LeBron James exposed himself, and his fans get exposed when they say that LeBron James makes the people around him better. No, he does not, because all you hear is everyone else has to make adjustments. Eric Spoelstra had to go to Oregon and talk to Chip Kelly, a college football coach, to learn the spread offense. This is what LeBron James is talking about? The spread offense? Really? It sounds ridiculous when you hear LeBron James say these things, man. Once again, he tries to make it seem as if the Miami Heat were doing something that's never been done before. Oh, they were the first small ball team. No, they were not, guys. They were not the first small ball team. They were not. If we just think about Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, not saying that they were the first, but let's just think about the Chicago Bulls of Michael Jordan, since everyone wants to, compare him to Michael Jordan. Let's think about the second three-peat Bulls. There were often times where you had Michael Jordan out there with Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Tony Kukoc. That to me is a small ball lineup. There's no legit 7-footers out there. The tallest player is Tony Kukoc at 6'10". That's the tallest player. And Tony Kukoc is not an inside guy. He's an outside perimeter guy. He's known for being a shooter, a playmaker, the waiter. That was his nickname. So when we think about just the Chicago Bulls of the late 90s, the three-peat Bulls in the late 90s, couldn't that be considered a small ball team? They were. But LeBron James wants you to believe that the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra unlocked the spread offense, that somehow people believe that the Miami Heat of the 2010s was the first small ball team. Get out of here, guys. Once again, they're trying to give this era LeBron James credit that they don't deserve, trying to make it seem like they were doing things that people weren't doing. But once again, this exposes LeBron James and the idea that he makes the people around him better, when in reality, what do we keep hearing? That Chris Bosh had to make adjustments. Eric Spoelstra had to go to Chip Kelly to make and find out how to get this team on track with all the talent, the super team that they were. Once again, exposing LeBron James, he was the problem, right? Remember, I told you guys also, Dwayne Wade had to study film on Michael Jordan. But LeBron James won't talk about that on his podcast, right? He won't tell you that Dwayne Wade had to go study film of Michael Jordan to learn how to play off ball to help LeBron James, right? So that the Miami Heat could be more successful down the road. Remember, they were promising not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6 or 7 championships. But the main problem was, guys, that the other players around LeBron James are always having to adjust and adapt their games, right? So that they could be successful. This is never LeBron James allowing his teammates to be successful by allowing them to play in an actual system, right? He wants to talk about Eric Spoelstra, going and talking to a Chip Kelly, trying to help the Miami Heat. But this is the same Eric Spoelstra that we hear LeBron James was trying to get fired. So once again, this is where LeBron James exposed himself, and this podcast exposes LeBron James all the lies and narratives surrounding his career and this comparison to a Michael Jordan. When you know that LeBron James is trying to get Eric Spoelstra fired behind the scenes, and that's part of the reason why he ended up leaving the Miami Heat organization, because guys like Pat Riley were not going to allow LeBron James to bully them and force their hand into do things that were going to be drastic and hurt the organization for years down the road. As you can see, the Miami Heat organization have been a consistent contender and have been a competitive team since LeBron James has left, since Dwayne Wade has retired, all of these things. These are the facts, guys. So when you hear him talk on the podcast with JJ Redick and he's talking about Eric Spoelstra did this and Chris Bosh did that, once again, all this does is expose LeBron James as making his teammates, making the coaches figure these things out, right? Because LeBron James is not being flexible. He refuses to make any sacrifices. But then yet he'll talk about the sacrifices that he's made on his podcast and talk about the sacrifices he made because he hasn't seen his children or he didn't see his children or because of this and that. All the other players are doing the same exact thing. LeBron James has refused to ever make sacrifices as it pertains to the on-court game. He refuses to play in a system, right? To take a back seat. Even to this day, he's on the Lakers in year 21, refuses to take a back seat to guys like Anthony Davis, right? The D'Angelo Russells. He must be the focus. It must be him as the leader, the forefront, and then everybody feeds off of that, which is why they're always inconsistent, which is why he's 4-6 in the NBA Finals, right? But they'll always make an excuse for LeBron James. Oh, he was going against this team. Oh, he didn't have any help. This guy was injured. It's always something for LeBron James. So they want to say that how great he is. So he's this great, but then yet he needs all the excuses for all the shortcomings and the failures in his career, guys. You can't be that great if you need all these excuses made. Once again, LeBron James can't be that great at making the teammates around him better when all we hear is all these guys are the ones making the adjustments. They have to make the adjustments to play. So how great is LeBron James at really making the people around him better? Once again, I've told you, it's all smoke screens and mirrors, guys. It's all lies and narratives. He does not make the players around him better like a Michael Jordan did, because Michael Jordan pushed his teammates in practice, right? He held these guys accountable. He held himself to that standard. LeBron James does not hold that same standard, does not push his teammates like he does in practice, does not instill the confidence inside of them. All they do is get second-guessed, right? These guys are getting death threats playing with LeBron James. Kevin Love had to go see a psychiatrist because he was in a depression playing with LeBron James. This is what happens when you play with LeBron James, guys. I don't ever remember any Michael Jordan's teammates getting death threats playing with him. So remember, guys, this is where LeBron James exposed himself. This podcast continues to expose him when he talks about Chris Bosh and the adjustments and Eric Spoelstra having to figure things out. All because of LeBron James's humongous choke job in the 2011 NBA Finals. It was on everyone else to make the adjustments. Think about how that sounds, guys. It was on everyone else to figure it out, not LeBron James. He didn't have to go back to the drawing board and work on his overall game, right? Because those are the things that they forced him to do in Miami, which is what he wanted to do, which is why he ultimately left after only being there for 4 seasons, guys. Even though he promised them 7, 8 championships, he stayed there for 4 years, guys. Once again, LeBron James exposed himself as a quitter, not a true competitor, man, and not playing for a love of the game. Like I said, always looking for an advantage, and when he feels that the advantage is going away, he'll pack up things and move to another team. You guys know the deal. We must continue to set the record straight. Stop the lies and the narratives, man. LeBron James exposing himself on his podcast. Every single episode that comes out, it gets worse and worse for this guy, man. Like I told you, man, this guy says crazy things. He talks about the icon of some of these other players versus Michael Jordan. He said he's born with a sports IQ. He talks about other players like they're not as smart as him. I told you, LeBron James looks down on everyone else. He thinks he's smarter than everyone, guys, and this is why he looks like an idiot. Because he really believes these things. And now he's talking about the adjustments that Chris Bosh had to make and the sacrifices that Chris Bosh made and the things that Eric Spoelstra had to do, right? Talking about all these things because LeBron James was selling out. But he wants to say he played like crap in the NBA Finals. No, not only did you play like crap, LeBron James, you completely disappeared. And once again, you were up 2-1. This wasn't like he got beat 4-0, right? And they never had the lead, or 4-1 and they never had the lead. They were up 2-1, and then you start mocking the other superstar on the other team. Classless move from LeBron James. This way he gets exposed, guys. No true leadership, man. No heart, no grit. Couldn't do anything else out there on the court, right? He didn't know what to do. When the ball wasn't in his hands, he didn't know what to do. Everyone else had to adjust their games after that. Cost Dwayne Wade a Finals MVP more than likely in 2011. But all the LeBron James fans will tell you Dwayne Wade was washed up from the minute LeBron James got to Miami Heat. No, Dwayne Wade's knees. That's all they talk about, Dwayne Wade's knees, right? They won't talk about any of these other things, though. They won't talk about this stuff, right? How all the adjustments, all these other players had to make around LeBron James, all the free agents that they signed, the Mike Millers, the Shane Battiers, right? The Birdmans, all these people that came to that team to help LeBron James and Miami Heat win, right? To help LeBron James, because he was the one that was not willing or able to adjust or adapt his game to fit into an actual system. He was never able to do these things, and this way he gets exposed. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.